The offseason has already begun for the Chicago Bulls, and there's not a lot of hope surrounding this team. But there are people trying to make sense of what the Bulls should do or what they shouldn't do. And Bobby Marks has some interesting things about three Chicago Bulls player that should already be on a trade block for the team. Y'all know I'm going to talk about it and break it down, but you got to hit the music first.
Cognac gang.
Shy Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on today's daily episode. If you tuned in with me today, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell, y'all. Hey, we on that grind to get this AK, man. So let's go ahead and make sure we rocking and rolling. And the like and the subscribe will go a long, long way for the channel. But let's get into it, man. So Bobby Marks, he came out and pretty much made some comments on his podcast surrounding the state of the Chicago Bulls and mentioned that he believes that there should be three players on the trade block already for the Chicago Bulls this offseason. Those three players include Zach Collins, Kevin Huerter, and Nikola Vucevic, mentioning that these are the three players that are currently on the Chicago Bulls roster who have 1 year left on their deals. He did mention that Tre Jones is probably going to be up out of here for the Chicago Bulls this season. He was making about $9 million, and they should expect Tre Jones to be walking elsewhere to make a little bit more money. And while that might happen, the Chicago Bulls still have Kevin Huerter making about $18 million this upcoming season, along with Zach Collins for the same dollar amount, and Nikola Vucevic at $21 million per year. So pretty much the Chicago Bulls have a decision to make when you talk about these players. Excuse me. These players that are currently on the roster with 1 year left remaining on the deal. Do you move these said players, or do you let it play it out until 2026 to where AK referenced a lot in his exit interviews in front of the media while he was getting scolded by Chicago media members, and rightfully so. But he talked about the flexibility or the potential flexibility that will be available to the Chicago Bulls in 2026. Bobby Marks went on to say you're still kind of in that in-between stage where you're not one or two spots away from competing with the top six or top five. So who are you as far as taking contracts? Do you want to go into the cap space game in 2026? That's probably not a way I want to go. Build up your draft equity and parlay those players into more draft equity. That's the end goal, end quote. And I'm 100% with Bobby Marks. Stop pussyfooting around, Bulls front office. Stop trying to make sense of things that don't really make sense. Like, I understand that you got some good minutes out of a Kevin Huerter. You got some good minutes out of Zach Collins during their time here. And you looked at Nikola Vucevic, and you know what I'm saying? But that those ships have sailed. I say the only thing that you may consider is a Zach Collins. Now, does that all make sense? Not necessarily, in my opinion. What was the point of signing Jalen Smith to the years that you signed him to if you're not going to give him ample opportunity? Now, I know in this draft that's coming up, there's going to be people that's on the side of, let's take the best player available. And there's going to be other people on the side that say, hey, we need another wing or a good, athletic, big. And I don't think you're necessarily wrong with either of those evaluations. We have to try to change the dynamic of this team to give us a brighter future. Yes, the future, it looks like it's going to be in a decent set of hands with, some guys that's currently on the team, in your Josh Giddey, in your Kobe White, Montes Buzelis, and Ayo Dosunmu. But after that, it's a question mark for Dalen Terry. It's a question mark for Julian Phillips, for a lot of us around here, because we simply are tired of saying, hey, we're going to the play-in. And I was all in for supporting my guys, but at some point, I want to see playoff games. At some point, we want to see playoff games. Now, do you go into this and you say, hey, we're going to absolutely move Kevin Huerter, who Billy Donovan relied heavily upon since he's gotten to the team? Or do you sit on your hands again through another offseason and allow Nikola Vucevic to still be with this team, it absolutely makes no sense. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to keep it straight, blunt, and straightforward. Trade Nikola Vucevic for whoever and a second-round pick. Keep it very, very simple. Get him out of here. It's really, really that simple. And I understand there's going to be some people clamoring for a first-round pick. It ain't happening. Not for Nikola Vucevic, at least in my opinion. I could very well be wrong on if a trade goes down and somebody be like, all right, we'll give you a first. But I don't see nobody trading a first-round pick in next year's draft for Nikola Vucevic. Just my opinion. Could very well be wrong, but I have no confidence that you can garner a first-round pick for Nikola Vucevic. Just my evaluation. I would say that the Chicago Bulls player has to be a strategic one. It has to be an aggressive one. And it has to come with saying, hey, we need these guys off our team. We need to build some draft equity. And we need to get some really, really good players in here that we can develop, that we hope that can potentially take over the reins for this unit. Now, I understand that there's going to be a lot of us, myself included, that say, hey, Zach Collins, he filled in well and even took Jalen Smith out of the rotation. But I would say you need to use him as a trade asset. I would go out on a limb and say that. And some people will view it as gutting the team, but I say to hell with it. To hell with it. Because the Chicago Bulls, yes, we've seen players take steps forward, but they just fired Peter Patton. Yes, we've seen some Chicago Bulls rise up to the occasion and have great after All-Star break momentum and good runs and things like that, but it ain't good enough. So if you want to be stuck in the mud, it's okay. Because right now the wheels are just turning for the Chicago Bulls. And we looking like we're going to be setting up for another play-in battle again with how we are right now. So why not go suit up for another play-in battle without some of these guys on the team, but more draft assets in your bag? That's my approach to it. And I would give Kevin Huerter this. He had some really good games after the All-Star break. But I see no future with him being on this team. At least if I was evaluating the team, I will absolutely be trying to move Kevin Huerter along with the Nikola Vucevic, along with the Zach Collins, for the sake of let's grab more draft assets. Let's go in and take more bites at the apple to see how we can map out this team. The only people I'm really concerned about is four for sure people. That's Josh Giddey, Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, and Montes Buzelis. Those are the young players I'm for sure that I'm cool with having on this team moving forward. We've looked at guys like Marko Simonovic go through our G League program. Didn't work out. We looked at Carla Jones. Didn't work out. We looked at Adama Sanogo. Didn't work out. We looked at EJ Liddell. It's not working out. We need to find more young, talented players instead of plucking a player here from another team, instead of drafting another player that might virtually not have a chance. I understand some guys could rise to the occasion and, you know what I'm saying, absolutely thrive and, you know, through the G League and get some NBA minutes and actually show themselves. But I will absolutely say, how do you know what you have when you have so many people in the way? How do you know what you have when you have so many people in the way? We don't know what EJ Liddell can do. We don't. There's just too many bodies in front of him. It's too many bodies in front of him. The same thing with, like, yes, that was pushed back and not a lot of hope in what Marko Simonovic could bring the Chicago Bulls, but there were so many people on the way. Where was you going to play him? Where were you going to play him? Because, man, it doesn't necessarily mean that it was everything, and he should have absolutely, you know, been a part of the rotation, but in Summer League, it was all right. It was all right to see. But if you don't have a Nikola Vucevic in a way, you don't have a DJJ and an Andre Drummond in a way, maybe you get a little bit more NBA action out of the player and see what the hell he's made of, because in the G League, he was putting up some decent numbers. Now, that is the G League. It is not the NBA. But if you are thriving in the G League with a team like us, let's bring you up to the big leagues and see what you could do against other NBA talents. That's all I'm saying. So, does it make sense? Hey, I'm saying you got to do what the hell you got to do. There's no more. Right now, you can't continue to sit on your hands with these type of decisions. It's time to be aggressive. It's time to make some tough decisions, and it's time to make the Chicago Bulls great again. For real, because I know y'all tired of going through the damn play-in. I know y'all tired of it because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of looking at the Chicago Bulls and saying, look, man, at least we're the play-ins. We're going to give ourselves a chance. And you are in a play-in, not even in a good position to move on into the playoffs. You're finishing at 9th and 10th to where you got to scrap and battle just to make it to the damn big game. And it's not even really the big game. It's not even really the big game. You sitting here, if you finish at 7 and 8, all you gotta do is win one. But if when you go to 9 and 10, you gotta win two. And a lot of the times you get the first game at home and then you gotta go on the road. And we know in those one game scenarios, anything can happen. We've seen it. This year, Chicago Bulls ended their season with momentum. What happened in the play-in game? They got whooped. 2 years ago, we win the first play-in matchup. Then we see Miami. Playoff dreams is over. Give yourself a better opportunity to make the playoffs by getting rid of some of these guys, and let's bring in an influx of new guys coming fresh out of the college ranks. Some new guys that's going to be able to come in here, and we are able to properly, diagnose to see if this player is good to stay or this player should be going. So absolutely, I'm 100% in agreement with Bobby Marks. Not just because his name Bobby, but I'm in 100% agreeing with Bobby Marks. You got to put these three guys on the trade block, and you got to make some tough decisions moving through this offense. It's not just about going out there and getting another high caliber veteran in a trade. In free agency, or just selecting one draft pick. Let's go out there and try to reshape this roster to where it's more conducive to winning, to where the guys that are on the basketball court fits Josh Giddey more, fits Kobe White more, fits Montes Buzelis more, contributes to the play style that the Chicago Bulls want to play offensively, but also find a way to where they can be or provide some type of strength on the defensive end, because we're watching these teams right now in the playoffs, and the teams that are defending are the teams that are keeping it gutty in the playoffs. And we only seen, we only seen game ones, but if you look down to some of those games that came down to how the game was decided, defense was one of those deciding factors. In the Chicago Bulls, as it currently stands, don't play good defense. So we gotta keep it real at this point in time. And to my people that are also Chicago Bears fans, the same energy we put out to the Bears, put out to these fucking Bulls. Put out to these fucking Bulls. The same energy we give to the Chicago Bears and saying, y'all got to show me, put it to the Chicago Bulls and say, y'all got to show me. I don't give a damn if you love Josh Giddey. I don't care if you love Kobe White. These Chicago Bulls have to show us something, because we can't keep running off hope. We can't keep doing that. This is why we get our hopes up. We running for the squad. We cheering them on, which we're going to do. But then we end seasons with heartbreak. And it ain't heartbreak coming in the playoffs. I'd rather have heartbreak coming in the playoffs than a team getting me all hyped up and emotionally invested in the team in the regular season. Like, hey, let's push for it. And they come out and drop a blunder like they did against Miami. Yes, I'm still ticked off about it. Yes, I am. But the question is, do we trust AK? That's the biggest thing. Do we trust the Chicago Bulls front office to be aggressive and do something? I don't. I absolutely don't. And that's the bad thing about it. Though we want so much to happen for the Chicago Bulls, you cannot trust the man that is running the business. You cannot trust the man that's running the business. Andre Drummond, it was being reported they was offering 2 second-round picks. They didn't take the picks and they let them walk, and you could have had the picks. Lonzo Ball was up there, and I'm not saying that it was a absolute bad decision, but Lonzo Ball was available for a first-round pick. Lonzo Ball was available for a first-round pick, and the Chicago Bulls didn't bite. They re-signed him. which I'm not going to say it's 100% bad signing because they only signed him for 10 mil per with a team option on the back end. But still, the point still remains the same. Where is the draft equity and the aggressiveness and the foresight going to come from with Arturas running the ship? That's the problem. That's why I'm saying keep that same energy that we are placing on other Chicago teams. Hold this team to the same fire. It's that time. It's no more of we have hope that this player is going to thrive, this player is going to thrive, and this player is going to thrive. It's time for them to show us what they're actually made of. The Chicago Bulls haven't won a playoff series since 2015. Enough is enough, y'all. We don't trust Arturas. He's not a man to trust right now because you dropped the ball plenty of times. When you had the chance to get rid of Zach earlier, you stood on your laurels and you took him just to get the rights back of the pick that you possibly already could have kept. DeMar DeRozan, love him. Love what he was able to do for Chicago, but you waited too long on that too. Hindsight is 2020, but when you look back on it and you check for the evidence is there that this guy is egotistical and he is behind. It's really that simple. And he's trying to drag this thing out to where we are emotionally invested again to now we have to wait until 2025. If we got to wait until, 2026, if we got to wait until 2026, give me more young players so I can see who's developing. Who's going to take over and be a part of the future in 2026? Give us something like that. Give us some type of information like that. Give me a young big out there that's going to go out there and be like, I bet the Chicago Bulls could move forward with that. Give me another power forward other than Pat Peppermint Patty, a.k.a. Patrick Williams, to where this young fella is like, okay, bet. Give us something different. The same smoke we got for the Chicago Bears, the same smoke that y'all put up for the Cubs, the White Sox, we need to be putting up for the Chicago Bulls because enough is enough of the hope of living and hoping that somehow, some way, the Chicago Bulls are going to get back into the playoffs and become a contender again. They got to do something different, bro. They have to. Enough is we going crazy over the highlight videos. They have to show us at this point. You got to show us at this point, bro. That's just what it comes down to. So I'm 100%. There is no need to keep Kevin Huerter, Zach Collins, and Nikola Vucevic on this team. Get them out of here. Get the trade assets. I don't care. Get the assets. It's time to move forward. Get some guys in here from the college ranks and see what they could provide for the Chicago Bulls. No more having these guys on the team if they're holding us back from seeing other young prospects receive minutes so we can see if they can be a part of the future because we are running into the same damn wall. I guess it's face reality. It's time to face reality, y'all. That's what it comes down to. It's time to face reality. That's it. But hey, that is it for me. Hope y'all appreciate my rant. Hope y'all appreciate my rant. But hey, that is it for today's episode, man. I hope y'all really enjoyed it as much as I did today. Make sure before you get up out of here, you hit that like button. You subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell as well. The voicemail lines are open. So if you want to be a part of a mailbag episode, you send it in, we dropping it. Ain't no more waiting. You send it in, we dropping it. Call in, state your name, leave your take. The number to do so is 773-242-93. Oh, shit. Excuse me. Excuse me. 773-242-9219 is the number to call. Call in, state your name, leave your take. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you always see red and apply pressure and don't fall for the love fest anymore. It's over with. Thank y'all so much, and y'all already know. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac.